Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Walk in This Way Impact Wealth Podcast. I am your host, Furman Jackson Jr. We are broadcasting once again here at the DFW, Dallas Fort Worth. So everybody wants to know that. Once again, it's our Saturday evening edition of the podcast. I got to thank everybody for supporting. Thank everybody for just hanging with us, being with us, and most importantly, support. I got to give a big shout out to everyone from the United States, to South Africa, to the Philippines, been supporting the podcast, and it's been truly amazing time. Of course, I have another missionary interview on my podcast. I reached out to her. She gladly accepted the invitation, and she's here. And I'm very excited about that. I'm gonna go and introduce herself here to the platform. The night's code is called "Know You Were Chosen." And I got this on your page, and I want to name this after the show. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lathosha Clark. I also go by Miss Tasha C, like my stage name. I am a model / actress full time. It's my gig. It's what I do. It's what I love. It's my heart. And I'm originally from Illinois. I've been in Texas for a good 10 years now. And I'm just grateful to be invited to the show. So thank you for having me.
Well, I thank you for accepting the invitation because that really meant a lot. But you didn't have to, but you did. I know you're working, you're grinding, you're putting in the
Yes.
work, you're paying your dues, they say, blood, sweat, and tears.
Mm-hmm.
So give the background on who Miss C is and take us into your world that we get a glimpse on why you mentioned on your Facebook page that you were being chosen. So go ahead and take us into your world. This is about you tonight. So take us into your world.
So as I stated, I'm originally from the Chicagoland area. That's kind of where I started my career at. I was a really shy kid. My parents thought that I never was going to talk. So they put me in modeling and acting school to kind of just bring me out of my shell. I did that for a good year. About 6 months into my training, my teacher was like, she has a face and a personality for, television and film. You should think about, putting her out there a little bit more. So my mom entered me into my very first pageant. And that's kind of where it all started. I hated the pageantry world, but I loved being in front of the camera. So that's where my love for modeling came at. I've been modeling since I was 13, 14 years old. And then started acting a little bit after that, working for some top names like R. Kelly. A lot of people are like, "Ooh, R. Kelly," but I learned a lot working under his team. And so now I'm here in Dallas Fort Worth area. My career outside of this brought me here. I was a flight attendant for years, over 15, 16 years. No longer in the airline industry, but I'm still here in Dallas. And there have been so many doors that have opened for me since I've been here, and I'm grateful for that.
There you go. Sorry about that.
There you go.
Technical difficulties on my end. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No worries. I know it's raining, so it could be the weather.
Yeah, but you know what? Speaking of that, I'm glad it's raining. I hope a cold front comes through because I love the cool weather. I can't deal with the heat. Heat all right, but it was like not too hot, not too cold, be cool. But I prefer the cool, nice weather, sweaters.
It's coming.
Hoodies.
I hope you're prepared. They said Monday, Tuesday, pretty much Monday on, it'll be in the 50s with the low, I think 35.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Yeah.
I said I could deal with the cold, just not the snow, because we're not built for nothing like that. I know we've been having that.
I'm built for that.
Well, you are. Yeah, that won't phase you at all. But being in the South, like we don't have stuff like that. But I look forward to it, and I know I'm missing interest stuff. So, like I said, that's what I want to ask you too. So, entertainment, and you mentioned that your parents got you involved. So, if that's something when you got into it, you just fell in love with it instantly, or it took some time, or
I fell in love with the camera.
Okay.
every aspect of it. And I'm not just talking about being in front of the camera taking pictures or being on film. I mean, even being behind the camera taking pictures of other people. Even in college, I my first field of study, my minor was photography. A lot of people don't know that, and I haven't done it in years, but that was my first heart. And not digital photography. I did actually, film photography where you had to go in a dark room and hang the pictures up. Like that's where I started at. So that's where my love began for this entire industry. I'm like, wow, like I need to be in this field. I need to be in this field, and so I haven't left since then.
All right, so you got involved, and
Hmm.
ever since then, you've been going strong with it full force. Um, the thing about it is, I love to see individuals who are excited about doing the things that they enjoy doing.
Hmm.
Go biblical for a moment. The Bible said that our gift should make room for us and bring for
Hey,
great men. So
yes,
it's all about finding your gift. It's all about
yes.
finding your it factor. What is it that you love to do that it becomes second nature to you? And I know we have individuals wandering through life trying to find out why I'm here for,
Hmm.
where I'm going to take my life. And as
Yeah.
you've been individual yourself, just living it out
Hmm.
day by day, what advice can you give to someone that's still trying to find a place, still trying to find a it factor?
Yeah. So I would say honestly, and this is something that I continue to tell myself on a daily basis. Um, don't get stuck doing something that you hate because life is short. Explore the different opportunities out there. I'm a big, big fan of a Martin Luther King quote that I live by, and it's faith is taking that first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. It took me forever to really understand the concept of what he was talking about in that moment. But once I got it, I held on tight to that. I, as I stated before, I was a flight attendant, so I flew for a long time, but I also left the flight attendant world and went to the corporate side of the airline industry, where I realized that that's not where I was supposed to be. I have a creative heart, a creative mind, a creative spirit, and a creative soul. And I can't be bogged down making somebody else rich. You know what I'm saying? Doing something that they love when I'm miserable in the place that I'm in. Um, so I say explore the options that you have. Don't think just because you have a 9 to 5 that that's it for you. If you have a creative mind, on your side time, or really your real time is what I call it, um, start putting some effort into your dreams and aspirations. Write a blueprint, write these plans down, get the ideas out of your head and onto paper, because if you just keep them up here, they will always stay up there. You got to put them
Hmm.
down on paper. So
Yeah.
that's some advice that I would definitely give people, and where I had to start it. It took me years to get there though. It took me being in corporate world for years before I was like, I don't belong here, and I quit after working for a company for many, 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 many years. So
And and that's what it is. And then it's about getting out the comfort zone. We
yeah.
know that how we've been programmed and
Oh,
breaking the
absolutely.
algorithm of going to work, pay
Hmm.
bills, stay on a job for 30 some years, retire, get your pension, then you living a good life. And that's something that was bedded into us for so
Yeah.
many years. Now we have to break them habits because this is not a mindset that developed overnight. This
Hmm.
took years. Now we have to reverse the process
Absolutely.
of understanding a better life. And let me ask you this: when you get that out, were people against you? Because a lot of time when people step out on faith and do these things, you have people, family members, friends. Why you do that for? You got bills to pay, and
Hmm.
how did you block all that out from being discouraged? And a lot of times, individuals can get discouraged from hearing from loved ones, friends, saying why you do that. Then they don't believe in it. Then it's like, well, maybe they right. Maybe I need to go back to my previous employer.
So for me, because I had done that tango before, I had got into working. I was with 4 different airlines total in my entire career. Um, I would get back into the airline industry, and then I'd be like, you know what, I'm taking a step out on faith. But then I would lose faith. I would lose faith and be like, oh my God, how am I gonna pay this bill? Bills started to add up. And I'm like, okay, I got to get a part time job. And then the part time job wasn't enough. So now I got to go back full time. And I did that tangle for a good, 3 or 4 times before I decided to make that final leap and just stay and stick it out and trust and believe that God would see me through. Honestly, my answer to that is God. You have to let go of what you're feeling and what you're thinking in that moment and be like, I trust and believe that God will see me through if this is of his will. You know what I'm saying? Not just because it's something that you want to do. If this is something that he sees fit for you in your future, then everything will line up. He's not a God of confusion or a God of uncertainty. You know what I mean? So if it's for you, everything will line up the way it's supposed to line up and in due time.
Right. And then not go into the delusion of fear. If you go back, let's
Absolutely.
go back in Genesis,
Hmm.
where the serpent came to Eve and the words was to get them out of faith into fear.
The fear.
Like God
Our
was
God is
holding
not a
back
God of fear.
as that try to get them out of the thing that God was holding back on them. But they
Hmm.
fell into that temptation. And a lot of time we go through those temptations, but not to cave into them where, okay, I got to stay focused. I got to maintain
Hmm.
my eternal vision, not to look to the left, not to look to the right, but what's before me. Because we
Yeah.
know that when you're on this journey, it's about work, it's about
Yeah.
putting your hand to the plow. And a
Hmm.
lot of times it's sacrifice as well. You
Ah,
got people that has those billionaire mindsets. They're thinking about generations to come. You got the
absolutely.
average person who only lives for the weekend.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the sacrifice. A lot of time
Hmm.
individuals thinking that they want to be successful, you see,
Hmm.
but they want to be comfortable at the same time. And it don't work that way. In order
No,
for you to be the great,
you have
you
to
want
you have to be
it.
uncomfortable.
Right, right.
Hmm.
And you have to let things go.
Hmm.
Hey, the partying, the hanging out, uh, the vacation. Sometimes, if you're trying to get to the next level,
Yeah.
it's gonna take you for you to put some things aside. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And then a lot of people don't understand it. Why didn't sign up for all this? Yeah, a lot of the great ones that we see on television and films and sports,
Yeah.
they didn't make it like that overnight. They had sacrifice. Just think about it. Now we got college players are getting paid now. Just think
Yeah.
back in the day that those athletes was not getting paid. Their goal was to make it to the pros.
Yeah.
And they were doing these things for free. Or they take back park ball.
Hmm.
Them little boys are not getting paid at all. They're doing it for the love of the game, but they know one day, I want to make it to the pros. I want to make it to the NBA. I want to make it to the NFL. And we forgot about those things. It's not now we're in the generation now that everybody wants their microwave
Yeah.
fixed instead
Yeah.
of taking your
Putting in the
time,
work.
putting the work. It's patience, timing.
Hmm.
You're not going to give it overnight. It takes years to
Hmm.
get to that point, but you realize, you know what? It's well worth it. And that's what it's all about. So, you're into the entertainment world.
Hmm.
Let's talk about your first time in front of the camera. What was that experience like? I know you mentioned that you just fell in love with it. So it was it like this your sanctuary when you're in front of that camera? It's just like it's just second nature to you.
It was. So my very first time in front of the camera professionally was I got hired on in Chicago to be a model for a like a boutique or a clothing line. So I was
Okay.
on their website, I was model size about that big. um, and I was, I would model their clothes. And for me going into it, because this industry moves so fast, I was green. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little naive and didn't realize that people can easily take advantage of you in this industry. And if it wasn't for my mother, I could have easily fallen into some really dark traps. But in that experience that I had in working as a boutique model, it was fun, but it was so fast paced. Mind you, I told you I was really quiet and I was still trying to come out of that shell.
Right.
So I'm kind of just looking, everybody's talking fast and the models are moving and they're stripping their clothes right in front of people. And for me, I'm like, oh, because I'm young, I'm a
Yeah.
teenager. I wasn't accustomed to that in that moment. Of course, now I had to because I've walked many of runways where you got to like troop troop. But after that day finished, it was a long day. After that day finished, I realized like, okay, this is a lot to take in, but it's something I can see myself doing for a long time, and being happy whether I make $100 a shoot or $10,000 a shoot. It's something that I have a passion for. So.
Yeah, because like you're investing in yourself, you're investing into your career,
Yeah.
you're investing in your opportunity, and you one of the ones who take these opportunities. Okay, may not look glamorous in the beginning. It's all about what getting your foot in the door. It's all about making a name for yourself, and not only that, you putting together your resume. A lot of times, people understand that you're putting together your resume and keeping track. So when it comes to meeting the big time people, first thing they ask, where's your resume? So you got to have all that in place. And a lot of times, Miss C, a lot of times individuals forget about that.
Yeah, and let me speak on that really quick, because I think a lot of people see my lifestyle, because I'm a content creator as well. So I get paid from Facebook and these social media sites. But a lot of people see my life and they're like, wow, it's glamorous. Or my family back home, they'll be like, oh, you got to be making some great money. It took, I'm in my 30s now. You know what I mean? It took to this very moment when I started as a teenager for me to start getting any kind of notoriety. Do you know what I mean? Outside of my experience that I had in Chicago, especially here in Dallas, like, I didn't know anybody. I came here, I'm a fresh face. Don't nobody know me. They don't know my experience that I had back there. I am a blank canvas. You know what I mean? A lot of the work that I started out doing here in Dallas I was being not paid for that work. I was just building my resume up, building my portfolio up. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people get lost and they do a couple photo shoots or a couple extra roles in movies or even supporting roles. And now they have this big budget, even with Tubi actors. I realized that a lot too. And it's really bothering to me, because I'm like, yo, like, I've been in this industry for over 20 years. And I'm just now getting, like I said, notoriety and the pay that I deserve. I did a lot of work for free that's published and on billboards and stuff like that, because I wanted to build my relationship with people and I wanted to build my portfolio up. So I'm speaking from a professional standpoint, talking to the young individuals who have not been tainted by, money and the idea of being famous yet. Take your time. Build your resume with quality work, not quantity. Don't just work with any and everybody. I won't. I mean, I may support people because I believe in people's bigger dreams. I may support somebody that I will never work under, because that's just who I am as a person. And I believe in people growing, and I may work with them later on once they've hit a level of quality that I expect for myself. Right. But don't just jump to work with anybody. And also don't just jump asking for pay from the beginning, because you ain't earned your take yet in this industry. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. You saying a mouthful, but we're going to finish that point. I'm going to take our first commercial break. We're going to jump into some music videos. And after that, we're going to jump into our Q&A conversation. Know You Were Chosen with Miss C. She's the honorary featured guest. Also, I have my special guest host coming in as well, Shiloh from Shiloh Entertainment. She's going to be joining us as well. So we're going to play some music and we'll get right back. Matter of fact, if you on Facebook right now, you watching us, I'm doing the stars. I get stars now. Yeah, your boy gets stars now.
Run them up, run them up, run them up, run them up.
Run them stars up. I did collect my first check from Facebook.
Me too. Well, not my first, but I collected that back.
But this is my first for me. But this is my first for me, and I appreciate it. So I can tell you, Miss C, I've been doing this since 2009. And hey, I wasn't getting paid anything at all. And I still don't see the big buzz yet, but I love what I do. And I'm like you, building my resume. But we'll figure more about that and we play some music videos, ladies and gentlemen.
You said you love me. Now I know what love is. Ain't nobody stop your love. 'Cause you know me. All my hopes, all my fears, but still you chose me. I'm in love. Now I don't know what you've been told, but all I know is that his love is worth more than gold. See, it took a while for me to understand, but a love like this isn't high demand. You know my flaws, but yeah, that you still love me. Now I know what love is. Ain't nobody stop your love. Stop your love. 'Cause you know me. All my hopes and all my fears. Still you chose me. I'm in love. I'm in love. You turn your back on him, he's still on your side. Always keep it real with you and that's no lie. Won't give up the fight, I know I'ma survive. Now I got God on my side, God on my side. I was down and he got me up. On the ground, no faith, I thought I was stuck. Now the devil see us winning and we got him shook. You know it's our season, we gon' run it up. Gotta love my sister and love my brother. Cause in this world, it teaches us we gotta love each other. Really absurd. If we can't look beyond each other's colors, we should prefer to show love for one another. We need to come together. Now I know what love is. Nobody stop your love. Stop your love. You know me. All my hope and all my fears. You chose me. I'm in love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in love. So in love. I'm in love. So in love with you, with you, with you, with you, with you. I'm in love with you, with you, with you, with you, with you.
What's up, everybody? We're back here on Walking This Way's Impact Wars podcast. That was Harvest. She's actually an artist here at the DFW. Big shout out to her. Quality, great video, crispy, clear, all that good stuff. Let's talk about before we got off, we get into the area of professionalism, the quality of work, and you say it's a real stuff, perfecting your craft.
Yeah.
How important? And I know you're a woman of professionalism, and I respect that. So, the importance of quality, the importance of perfection, especially when you go into these people, having what they say, having your ducks in a row, cross your I, dot your T. Stress that as you are in this field, you've been in this field for a long time. Stress the importance it is to have quality work. Some people they want to take shortcuts, but they don't want to go down the road, the successful road, because shortcuts only gonna lead the dead end. Explain to the listening audience the importance of having quality work. They go for all of us. Not singing no one out, but they go for all of us. Whether you're podcasting, you're doing music, you're doing movies, you're doing business, whatever. Go ahead and explain the points of that, Miss C.
So, oh man, this topic is near and dear to my heart because I see it so much, especially in modeling. Acting too, but I'm gonna do one at a time because they have different importances. So in modeling, I feel like people get it confused. Now that we have social media, a lot of, social media models who are not trained models, they're just pretty faces, are getting a lot of clout because of hello. But a lot of social media models are getting a lot of clout because they may have the following, but they may not have necessarily the talent. And I think a lot of pretty faces jump on board thinking, hey, like I can do it too. So they start off doing TFP. And for those of you that don't know what TFP is, like time for print in the modeling world, but they're working with maybe photographers who may be new and don't quite know what they're doing yet. How is that going to benefit you? Don't just do it because you want pictures. Work with a photographer that's going to bring value to your portfolio, because when you get in front of these casting directors for these big shows, depending on what route you want to go, whether it's commercial modeling or runway modeling, they're going to look at this stuff. And you got to think you're in comparison with the Naomi Campbells and the Gigi Hadads of the world. You know what I mean? Who already have a name. You're still trying to build yourself up to that point. And if you come with your friend who bought a camera from the pawn shop, you know, who is just trying to figure out his way in behind a camera, it's going to show in the pictures. Also, working with a experienced photographer can help somebody a model who may be new in the industry. You know what I mean? With posing or lighting or you know, different expressions, how to emote. Um, I feel like a lot of models get lost in the, oh, I need pictures instead of the quality of the work. So take your time, invest in yourself. Even if you got to save a couple coins from each check or whatever, save that money. And your first photo shoot, you know, pay for something that comes with 3 outfits, and, you know, pay for this photographer that you know has a good following and that you know produces quality work. Don't just jump to, oh, this photographer can do it because he's free, because they are going to look at you and laugh. I've been laughed at. So I'm telling y'all from experience, not from, you know, me trying to be mean to you all. I'm just speaking from experience. I've been, people look at me like, girl, come back once you have the work. And they'll tell you just like that. They have no shame in their game in this industry. They will make you cry. They will hurt your feelings.
And it's not personal, and it's just business.
It's just business.
And you mentioned something too.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to talk about this. They don't even want to talk about this in church when it comes to money.
Oh, speak on it.
Because it takes money to invest into the things you're doing. It takes money. And we have individuals who have that poor mindset. They just want freebies all the time. Yeah. So like camera, I'm not knocking camera phones, whatever you do, what you do. But a lot of times, get from them camera phones and pay somebody who's professional with a real camera, who has a whole setup, and pay them to take your work, because it's to benefit you. Like you said, these people say, well, just come back, we have something later on better, but then you get butthurt about it. Yeah. Let's talk about that. It takes money to make money. Some individuals scared to spend money. They want freebie all the time.
And you cannot do that. I don't care what industry you're in. That goes across the board for any industry. If you are trying to start a trucking business, you can't just expect for people to give you their services for free because they friends or family members. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it works. You got to put money in to make money. I know you just kind of referenced church. That's the same thing with, I mean, and our God is not the kind of God who, if you don't give tithes and offerings in church, that he gonna be like, and he gonna smack you on the wrist. But at the end of the day, like it's stated in the Bible, like we're supposed to give. People get that really confused. They get that really confused. I've invested a lot of money in myself, a lot. Y'all would be surprised. Y'all mouse would hit the ground if I told y'all the amount. Even this little setup, like I'm in my apartment, but I have studio lighting. I have I have a real professional camera. Like when I can't get in front of somebody's professional camera, I know how to do everything myself. Even as an actress, I'm still taking acting classes. I will never know it all. There is always something that I'm going to be able to learn in modeling, even though I've been in modeling for over 20 years, even though I've been acting for over 15 years, there's always something that I'm going to learn, and it ain't free. I pay for modeling classes. I mean, not modeling, I'm sorry, acting classes every month. In regards to modeling, I'm still paying photographers to make sure that I have quality work. Now I do work with some where I do it, you know, for free, trade of services, you know, but those photographers are up here as well. Like there are some people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, no shade to them, that have reached out to me who I will never work with because the quality is not there. And it's not my place to tell them that to hurt their feelings, you know. It's just, I know what I can deliver and what I can bring in. And I had a photographer here in Dallas who was a big name once tell me like, yeah, you shoot with some of these photographers in Dallas. He said, but you make their work look good, even though they're not good. So you have to make sure that it's going to be an even trade as well, because a lot of times it's just not. So invest, take the money, put it aside, save it, instead of going out shopping on Fashion Nova like I do. And all these other, you know, all these other entities. Invest the money into yourself, invest it into your craft, and continue to invest. Don't do it once and then not do it again. Continue to invest. It's an ever growing, you know, lifestyle.
Right, you have to stay consistent at all times, and that's what a lot of people do. That's why I gotta give a big shout out to Mr. U that was on here last night. He was talking about how consistent I am with the show, and it does. And a lot of people say, "Man, you consistent with the show." I see you keep going. I see a lot of people they do it and they don't. They fall off. You keep doing it because it's the love of the game. It's the passion of the game, and it's all about getting better at the game. You know what I'm saying? Reading books. Let me tell you a story. I remember when I was doing it in 09. But I remember I had an individual told me one day, it was back when I lived in Alabama. She said, Furman, if you're serious about this, get books on podcasting, get books on public speaking, to perfect your craft. I got a little chart, little cheat chart, anyway, speaking chart, whatever. So tell me get all that stuff, and I took it and I invest my money in the TED Talk books on podcasting. To be a student of the game, be ahead of the game. And I'm still learning as I go. I haven't perfected everything, but I learn as I go because we know that in order for you to get people's attention, you have to bring out your best work. It's like being a top athlete. Think about it. They don't get endorsed. They don't just not and ask you for endorsements. They see something there that they want to come and endorse them. They see something there they want to come and sponsor them. People will sponsor you and get endorsements behind you when they see your quality of work, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. When they see the professionalism, they see the consistency, they see, okay, this person's on point here. I like how they deliver their things. I want to get behind this. Because they know at the end of the day, they're going to get their investment back.
Yeah.
Because I ain't going to lie, I see some cats who do stuff like, you need to go back to the drawing board. And I'm just being honest. I ain't gonna lie, some people ain't good at acting. I see that a lot too.
Yeah.
And go back to the drawing board. Find out what you do. And a lot of times we gonna be honest. That's the other thing. Be honest. Get with people that gonna hold you accountable and tell you know what? I think you need to do better. I think you need to find something. And that's what it is. I'm gonna say individuals surround themselves with yes men.
And that's a
yes
problem.
Women.
That's a problem, though, in our community in particular for African-American people. That's not who you want to be around. You want to be around people that's going to be like, that's not it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I found that in the Dallas film scene, I see it a lot. Once again, I'm not trying to shade anybody, and I'm not going to even mention names. But what I will say is I see a lot of Dallas actors and actresses who, you know, they've never even taken a class before. Not that you need a class to be an actor. Some people are naturals. But hell, Will Smith, who has been in the game forever, continues to take acting classes. And he's been doing this for a long time. These are people who, at the end of the day, are still honing in and fine-tuning their craft. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong. You know what I mean? You gotta put the work in. You got
to. And you know what, Miss C, they don't understand that. And I know Charlotte, I know she wanted to time in as well, but I want to share this. You were speaking. Look at Deion Sanders' son, Charlotte. You know who? Do you know who his mentor is? It's not in his dad. It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady is working with his son at the quarterback position. Deion is not a quarterback. He was a DB cornerback. So what he did, I'm gonna get my son the best tutor. And I know Tom Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champion. That's smart. That's why I'm gonna get my son to work with someone who's already perfected that area.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing tonight? Super excited to be on. What's up, Furman? What's up, Miss C? I heard him call you Miss C. So, you know what? Such a great topic. And I was just thinking about this. You know, I've been acting for a while now as well. And before I get there, these are a couple of takeaways I want to say before I go into that. But the best investment that you can make is in yourself. Right? That is the best. That's going to be what you're reading, who you're being around, the things that you're doing to make yourself better. And it's important. You're talking about quality. It's important that we invest in the quality of input, right? Of input. So guess what? We can have a quality output. Yeah. Right? We got to make sure we're putting quality input inside of us. Quality people, quality work. So our output can be of quality, right? Branding is so important as well. If you're an entrepreneur, pay that money to wear your brand. Why are we wearing Louis, Gucci, and Fendi, and I don't know what your brand is? I wear something of Shiloh Radio. Shiloh, I got some tights on right now that says Shiloh it Radio and Shiloh on the side, because you gonna know my brand. Right?
Absolutely.
Shiloh Entertainment, my slogan, be a verb now, on a hoodie or something. Every day I'm branded. Why? Because I believe in myself. I believe in what I'm putting out, right? And so we have to be very, very careful, making sure we're not promoting someone else's brand above our own brand. And birds of a feather flock together, right, Miss C? So if you're hanging out with trash, it's going to be automatically, I'm assuming you're giving out trash. And I'm going to tell you, you might can get me in the room, but your character is going to keep me there or get me out of there. People call me right now, Shiloh, you still acting? For the right project and the right people.
Hello.
Y'all don't be paying and y'all be late and y'all don't run rehearsals right, and it's crazy. So you know what I'm saying? So for me, I stopped even being with certain, because I don't want that to tarnish my reputation. Absolutely. I don't want my name to be connected with somebody who don't operate in excellence. You see what I'm saying? So we will take those L's sometimes, right? But sometimes we got to say no. I'd rather keep my brand intact rather than connected with low quality, low class, low standards, low budgets, whatever, maybe. You know what I mean?
You preaching, girl.
Right? But we always have to make sure that we want to be around people who are as professional as possible. That's another firm. That's why I rock with you. You show me a level of professionalism. You show me that you go out and get yours. You show me you're not afraid to, you know what I mean? We have that likeness. That's why I'm like, I can rock with him, right? But if you was like, okay, Shy, show is on, and I'm sitting here waiting, it ain't on, I got a problem with that. And I can't be connected with that, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate it as well. That's what we talking about. Every time we get on the show, it's always be an on timing word. I have to believe that. The name of the show is called "Know You Were Chosen." That's something you have to think about. Knowing you were chosen, knowing you was a number one draft pick in the draft. That means you was invested. You learned from the best. You were trained by the best, and you wanted to learn the game in order to be the best, right? And so we have Miss C on here, and she's been doing this for a long time, Shiloh. And I just love her professionalism before you came on, how she takes her craft seriously. She knows what she's talking about. She's on point. She's not all over the place. It's not, you know what I'm saying, know what I'm saying, know what I'm saying, and none of that stuff. It's just like she knows what she's talking about, and she's true to her craft. And she mentioned she paid her dues. You know, blood, sweat, and tears. You know, back in the day, used to thing called "Pay Your Dues." Do they still say that slogan? Pay your dues. They still say it.
They don't do it because they don't want to do that. They want instant gratification.
But you know what? A lot of people have made it that way. These directors and these writers have made it that way. It's not about your talent anymore. It's about who I'm friends with, who you in bed with. Not literally,
I'm glad you brought that up.
But it's about popularity. It's not about what you can bring to the table talent wise. It's not about that. It's about
nepotism.
That's it. And I hate it. I hate it.
Let me ask you about that too. I know women, I know guys and women, whatever. But as you being in the entertainment industry, how do you maintain your integrity? Because I know a lot of times you may have males, I'm gonna say males who just want to use, what they say, I can say we grow adults here. Try to want to use favor for sex. Because I hear a lot of times too on the back end that you have guys want to use, well, I can put you on, but I want you to sleep with me. And we see this in the music industry. I turn you on. If you want to sleep with me, I'll let you. So how do you maintain all that integrity that you have? I know you probably come across some wolves sometimes, but having that spirit of discernment, like Mr. You mentioned last night on the show, having that discernment. So you got to have that discernment.
But that's the thing, though. We all come from different backgrounds, right? So I was brought up in the church. Gospel is my first language. You know what I mean? So for me, that spirit of discernment and my connection and relationship to God is strong. Some people don't have that and they get lost in the sauce. They get lost in the shuffle because they don't know whose they are. They don't know who they are. For me, I know at the end of the day, I have young individuals who look up to me. And don't get me wrong, I'm an adult. And so I have partaken in, bourgeois shoots or lingerie shoots and stuff like that. But I do it with class. You're never going to see me out there looking trashy because at the end of the day, I got a 13-year-old son, So I don't want to do anything that's going to make my family look bad, that's going to make my son look bad. And at the end of the day, when I walk out the house, I represent myself. And so I don't want to do anything that makes me look bad or that leaves a negative light over me for the next person that I come into contact with that wants to work with me, or where they think that they can be like, can you do this, back here? I'll make sure you get the lead role. I'll take a supporting role then. I don't need that. So you just have to stand in your truth and stand in who you are, because you can get lost really quick if you don't know, like I said, whose you are and have that spirit of discernment for whether people are being genuine or not.
Yeah, because we know it happens on a regular basis. You ain't got to be a woman; it could be a man too. So it don't matter. But we know it's out there.
I've been propositioned by both. To be honest with you, I've been propositioned by both for that type of stuff, and I'm like, no, this you got the wrong person. That's not gonna fly with me. Especially in the modeling industry. I haven't seen it a lot in the film industry, but once again, I'm new to this Dallas scene. So, but in the modeling industry, I've seen it. I've seen some girls get lost in that whole music video girl thing, because that's kind of where I started at.
Oh yeah.
And they're lost, and they still to this day are lost out there.
Yeah.
And I pray for them. You got to have a strong spirit to be in this industry.
And you got to, and I know, Charlotte, I know you have experience in the entertainment industry as well. And you know what? I think they need to have more classes. I think even in NFL, they got classes now for the young guys not to get caught into these different traps. I think entertainment need to have one too when it comes to finance. Well, I got a financial person on the show anyway. So no, they need to have a class on finance. They need to have a class on deals and make sure you're not getting shady deals. Because a lot of times, a lot of people don't know how to read contracts.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they don't read them. It's not either they don't know how, is that they don't. What they say about us, if you want to keep something from us,
put it in a book.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? So it's not that. And then two, we're not smart. We don't even have things in protection. And okay, for example, legal protection. Let's just throw that out there, right? Why should you have legal protection in case you have contracts that come up that you need to make sure are in your favor or not, going to bamboozle you at the end? Why don't we have these professionals in our lives to be able to handle the professional things that, the hard things that we don't know, right? And so again, I have legal protection, right? I don't play with nobody. So I had a contract, had a gig about a year ago, went, acted, played, done everything, right? Boom. Okay, so it's time for this contract to be paid out, Miss C. So I'm like, okay, so when this contract gonna be paid out? And then they're like, oh, well, it's like do some double talking, right? Oh, well, we gotta make sure. I said, okay, can you send? I'm about to have my lawyer call you and you play with me. I'm not getting ready to argue with you. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I have lawyers that could actually be on the line and say, hey, excuse me, my client, right? And so we need to make sure we're having these protections in place, because guess what? That protects us from being taken advantage of, right? Oh, you propositioned me for sex. Well, let me see what my lawyer says about that, right? Let me see what my rights are, because you don't have any rights if you don't know your rights. So another reason to have legal protection, especially entrepreneurs. I said, we out here, putting lotions and potions and feeding folks and, giving people all these things, these vendors. And what if something blows up, gives me a rash, or, and you ain't got no kind of legal protection, but my throat swelled up because you done fed me something that you ain't got no kind of business doing. I own your business now. Look, I got my choke. Look, I own your business now, right? Because I had that legal protection. And so we're always at legal risk, especially in the industry, right? Especially in the industry.
You know what? You opened up a whole new can of worms, and that's a good thing, because I believe this is a very, very teaching moment for all of us. Especially those in the industry, we get so caught up in the glitz and glamour, but we forget about the the legal aspect of things. We're going to do another commercial, and after that, we're going to jump right back into that. So those who tuning in, we thank y'all. Also, got to give a big shout out to Miss Evans in the comment section. She had called me earlier today. She appreciated everything. Give a big shout out to her. I know she's in Pennsylvania, so big shout out to Pennsylvania. And also, we got to give a big shout out to everybody who's watching in the United States. When I was checking it out on the Facebook page of Walking This Ways, 7,000 people in the United States been watching us. We got big numbers in the Philippines, South Africa. Big shout out to New Zealand, because we had somebody watching us last week from New Zealand. So big shout out to all around the world, especially South Africa. They sure been following the Walking This Way. So big shout out to South Africa. So we don't want to forget y'all as well. We'll jump into another commercial break, and we're going to finish our conversation. We're going to be talking about the legal side of things, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very teaching moment for all of us. So, man, tune in, log in. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
This is your anthem. This is your anthem. Oh, but you see the dollar signs are soaking these words that don't harmonize. Pop it up from a 9 to 5. I can see that the hustle is still alive. This is your anthem. This is your anthem. Oh, but you see the dollar signs are soaking these words that don't harmonize. Pop it up from a 9 to 5. I can see that the hustle is still alive.
Hey, what's up, man? We are back here on Walking This Way, Impact Voice Podcast. Big shout out to David Reeves, aka Day Day. He has a new single. He has a new single coming out November 7th. I love that young man. I consider him my little brother. I just love him. Shout out how he stayed consistent in his crowd. Young man in his early 20s, all about want to make history in the music industry. Also, he does his own clothing as well. So I got to get him back on the show. He's here in the DFW as well. I got to get him back on the show. And I consider him my little brother, so I respect what he does. He motivates me. He inspires me. A lot of people say I inspire them. Y'all realize y'all inspire me, make me step my game up even more. So big shout out to him as well. Keeping your thing Day. Also, so we're back here. Which I got two C's on here, Miss C and Charlotte. Hey, what up? See the C show. All right, so we're back here on the podcast. Before we got into the commercial, we were talking about the legal side of things. I think this is a teaching moment. I believe this is a prophetic moment, because it's an on-time moment. A lot of times we get so caught up in the glitz and glamour. We forget about the legal aspect of things. We forget about all that important stuff until when it all hits the fan. Then it's like, oh man, why did I never tell me this?
And can I say something really quick?
Go ahead.
I think that people need to have their legal aspect in place before you start even making that money like that. Because what happens is then you get in a situation that now you're trying to look for legal, and how do you know that you can trust these people unless you have already gained a rapport with these people? For me, I have an agent, I have a manager that I just got out of LA, and some people are like, why do you want to split the money two ways? Because I know if something is to happen, I know that company is going to back me at the end of the day with their legal representation. So I don't mind splitting my money if it's with the right people. But get that legal representation in place before you start making those millions. I'm speaking millions on all y'all, but get it into place now. You know?
See that place now, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, because like I said, I just feel I know in my spirit that we're on the verge of something big. And this word kept playing in my spirit all the time. I keep saying it to myself. It's a new season. It's a new day. A fresh anointing, is coming my way. And I'm like, I know God is speaking. I know that. I believe in my heart of hearts, I know there's a revival taking place right now. And I'm not talking about a tent revival. I'm talking about a revival within these temples. Eyes, being enlightened, eyes opening up. We getting better now. Even we have in the scripture says, even Jesus told Nicodemus, you must be born again. See, this is a born again moment. We must be born again. In other words, we're starting all over again. We're renewing our lives again. We're being reborn in the spiritual realm, not just in the flesh. That day is over with, but in the spiritual realm of things. So I'm very excited that we're talking about stuff, Miss C and Charlotte, that we never really think is important, but it is
Mm.
important.
Yeah.
So how important? Let's talk about team accountability. We know everybody want to do. No, I'm gonna say everybody. I don't want to say everybody. Everybody's different. Individuals feel like they don't need a team. I can do it all myself. I can do it by myself. With pride coming before a fall.
Yeah.
How is it important to have a team? And I know both y'all are in the business world. How important it is to have a team, and what is the number one thing you look for when it comes to building team? Because even Jesus said, "By their fruits you shall know them." You know, when he say that, it's their lifestyle, their character. So go ahead.
Integrity. That's one of the first things I look for in
Mhm.
a member of my team. There are some family members I won't hire. I love my family all, but if you don't have that strong sense of integrity and faith, and if you walk by faith, not by sight what you see, then you can't be a part of my team. I think having a team is very important. I'm not saying that it can't be done individually, but it's going to take longer to get there. Where two or three agree, you know the saying,
Oh yeah, he should be in the midst.
absolutely. And so I feel like a team will help you get to your final goal quicker. I always tell people, I want to make it with a team. It feels so much better making it with a team
Mhm.
versus being at the top by yourself while you looking down, trying to still pull people up.
Yeah.
Do it together collectively with that God-given team so that you can make it to the next level in the
Yeah.
time you're supposed to versus trying to do it all yourself.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
even Jesus had the 12 disciples.
Mhm.
Even though he could did it all by himself, but he had the disciples. He used 12 men to help change the world, right? So
Yeah.
you use the right people to help change the world in order to make an impact. And it gets big. Let me get wrong, because I know in the beginning you're doing a lot of work, and I know you booking this, you booking that, you designing this, you designing that. You your own secretary, you your own assistant, you're your own caterer and everything. But when the things start blowing up,
Mhm.
and then that's what we're talking about too. And I gotta get big shout out to Keisha says she brought this up too last night, Shiloh.
Mhm.
You gotta know the difference between an opportunity
Mhm.
and opportunist.
Mm.
Ooh.
Yeah. You know, and I just want to piggyback on that really quickly before we go too deeper into that. Is partnership is so important, right?
Mhm.
Where two or one are gathered together on one accord, right? God is in the midst.
Yeah.
Four eyes are better than one. Four hands are better than two, right? Four eyes are
Mm-hmm.
better than two, not one. You know what I mean? So, like for example, partnership is so important. Say if you have a husband and wife,
Mhm.
it's important that that partnership is tight so that you can move on in power, right? It's harder for just that one person to feel like they always have to do every single thing. They're just on a hamster wheel, not going anywhere. But soon as you get that person that's in alignment, they have that integrity thing together. They have that work ethic together. They have that moral fortitude together. It's like combustion. You can do so much. So it's so important that we number one, we keep our goals and we keep our dreams close to the vest because we can't make sure we're telling other people that guess what are only there for the opportunity. They're only there to suck your life out, right, Miss Clark? They're only there to suck out your dreams.
Yep.
Uh-oh. They're only there to take your ideas,
Yep.
right? So
Been there.
when you're looking at partners and when you're
Mhm.
looking at people to align and join with, sometimes it does take some time for you to look and watch and see and
Yeah.
make sure that their words line up with their actions. Anybody can say anything. What that action do, what that resume look like, what them references say, what people who know you, who know me, gonna say about you. Because my thing is, my name is good in these streets, right?
Yes.
And so, and I take pride in that, and I protect that. And so
Mhm.
we have to make sure we're not connecting with folk
Ooh.
who don't have that same kind of name in these streets because that can really damage your image and what you bring to the table. Because what I say, birds of a feather flock together. Well, if she trash, you gotta be trash if
Right.
you
Even if
connected,
you're not, even if you're
even if
not,
you're
you are
not.
by association.
Oh,
That.
guilty by association. Remember that?
Yeah,
That's yeah. Because even though you in the car with somebody, and
Yeah.
they go and rob a gas station, bank, whatever. You may
Mhm.
not went in and did the deed, but you was in the car. you consider guilty by association. You
I
can't say,
have two brothers doing time right now for that very thing. They took somebody to get something. The guy that they took to get something murdered somebody, and they doing the time now. At 16 and 17, they were in prison. Wow. And so people need to really know who they are around.
The people, places, and things matter.
Oh, this is a teaching moment. We just having a teaching moment. This is a Jill dropping. So Miss C, that's talking about what has been your greatest. Well, I think all your roles great because you like, hey, I'm doing these things. Every role I do is great. That's the mentality you have.
Yes.
But what we consider to be the high, I don't want all your high points in your career. I'm gonna say that. What would be all your high points in your career? What would be the most fun, the most exciting? And I gotta ask this: if it ever came down to when it come down to it. Who you prefer to do a movie with?
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good. Let me answer that first.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I definitely want to work under Shonda Rhimes. I think she is a brilliant mind. I think she's so creative, and Kerry Washington and Viola Davis. Those are that's like my little dream team right there. Like
Top
I'm like,
tier.
Oh, I gotta get with them.
Top tier.
And in regard, what was the other part of the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, it just. I know you want to ask that one. Like, what would be like the most funnest you ever done on the scene? Any bloopers that would happen behind the scenes? But at the end of the day, I know you be proud of yourself. You're like, you know what? I killed it. I nailed it. Job well done. So we could consider all the highlights of your career. That moment that really sticks to you to this day.
So I recently did a short film that has not even come out yet. It's in post-production currently. It's called Special Day. It was filmed and directed by Soul Sync Productions. And I played a character named Lisa, who was trying to get pregnant.
There you go.
I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear loud and clear. Yeah, we hear you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. She was trying to get pregnant with her husband, taking fertility, this, that, and the third. She ended up getting raped. And I know that's not a high point, but I'm going to tell you why this was my favorite scene and project that I've done this far. I had to really tap into my emotions. Of course, I can play a pretty face. I can play a pretty face any day. Anybody can do that, that has some sort of look to them. But I really had to tap into a deep, dark place, an ugly side, and bring out that emotion, like snot, you know what I mean? Real tears. And for me to go there, it took me a little minute to kind of tap into that place. In that moment, I had to learn, how to let it all out and stop worrying about what I looked like in front of the camera, and stop worrying about, how people were looking at me and perceiving me, and just let it go.
Yeah.
And so for me, I can't wait to see the premiere of this, because I really tapped into a place that I had never tapped into, even in acting class. I've never tapped into that girth, and I had to do that for that role. So I'm super excited about that. That's probably one of my favorite moments, though. It was dark. It was a favorite moment of mine because, like I said, I pushed my limits of what I'm used to working.
That's a good Furman.
Oh, hold on. I cannot hear you all. Hold on.
Furman, go ahead.
All right, no, go ahead. Ladies first. Go ahead.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear Missy?
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
you. You can't hear us?
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Let me go out and come back in. Hold on.
All right, go ahead. Shy, can you hear me, Shy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, you go ahead and finish what you're going to say until Miss C time back in.
Yeah, so it's so interesting because when it comes to acting, it is so important that we tap into those emotions. And I've directed a couple of projects, and I've literally had to get on the floor with some actors so they can bring out that emotion, right? Because it's like you have that in you. We've all had some trauma that we can tap into. We've all had some disappointments that we can go back and tap into. And so it's all about going back, drudging up those pain points to make it even seem real, I did this one play a couple of years ago, my directorial debut, and it was about this
Okay.
girl who was being molested. Yep, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes.
You hear us? Okay, there you go. Good.
So this girl was being molested by her mother's boyfriend. Okay, and I was directing this show, and the guy who was supposed to be molesting the girl, even though the girl was an adult, but she looked young, so he was supposed to be molesting her. Right now, I come from a place of molestation. Right, my stepdad molested me all my life. Right, till I was 16 years old.
Wow.
So there's some things I know about this certain thing. Right, so. He's like shy. He was being very nice. Unbelievable. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, molest her.
Yeah.
Like, you got to play the part. You got to tap into that weird, creepy thing that is not you, but you're portraying. You have to, you got to brush up against her. You got to make passes at her. You got to be creepy. I was more creepy than he was because I had that place that I could come from.
That you knew, right?
That I knew. So it's important, like you said, when you're getting those emotions and you're putting them out on the stage, that you do tap into those dark places that we all have. There's been some disappointment that we got to go back to. Those emotions are there. They may be buried, but as an actress, yeah, you got to go sometimes deep and bring those things up in order to be able to relay the message depending on that character. So I completely understand what you said. You had to go deep in some things to come out and make it believable.
To an ugly place. I really had to dig into an ugly place that, I probably didn't even realize I had buried so deep.
Yeah.
And in the gentleman who they had, who was supposed to be my abuser, was a white gentleman. And he kept like, kind of like you were just saying, he was like, are you okay? Are you sure? And I'm like, you got to really do it. Like, you have to, push the limits. Don't worry about what I'm feeling in that moment. You have to play the part. He got so lost in the moment to where the last scene, which I think was the best take that we did, he lost where he was at, and they were like, get off of her. But for me, I'm like, kudos to you, because I told you to go there and you went.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? And he was like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, you did exactly what I asked you to do. It's going to be believable on the camera now. So,
And that's something. And I know, how long does it take for you to prepare for these roles? I mean, how many hours? How many days? I know this ain't no overnight thing, but I know it. How long does it take for those who wants to know behind the scenes?
It depends on the type of role you're playing and how in your skill level when it comes to memorizing lines and emoting. Everybody's kind of different, but like for that short film that we had, they gave us the script maybe a couple weeks before we started filming. And I started tapping into myself just at home, but it's different tapping into yourself at home and on a table read versus being in present day with the person who you're about to be working with. So I would say, like, for me on a role like that, to kind of get my mind right for it, like mentally, physically, spiritually, maybe a few weeks to get, if I have that much time to prepare myself. They also had therapists, though, that were on site, like that spoke with us prior to the scene and that spoke with us after the scene. So it was a drawn out process. I was grateful for that. I had never experienced that before. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, in short films, they normally you have a shorter time than if it was a stage play, right? The stage play, you have a longer time. You get the script, and it's a whole different animal with the stage plays and short films, So, okay. So I have a question. It's kind of like off the cuff for you, because success leaves clues, and everyone that Furman has brought on this show has a level of success that I'm so proud of. I'm so proud to be in your presence, just to know that you're out here doing some great and amazing things and leaving a name and a legacy for yourself. But I have a question.
Yes.
What does your daily routine look like, right? Your morning routine, because successful people have routines. They don't just get up like, oh, whatever happens, happens. Well,
it is what it is.
No. Yeah, it is what it is. What you mean it is what it is? No. What does your daily routine look like?
Listen, so my daily routine, like I said, I'm a single mother, divorced. So my daily routine usually starts with my son. I get up around 6:30ish. We make fruit smoothies. I make sure that he's,
Healthy.
well healthy. He's an athlete, so
Okay.
he's healthy before he walks out the door. And my pastor always says, if you don't get up and do anything else, make your bed. And so that's part of my day that gets your day started. I do that. Look over bills. Different days I have different tasks that I do. I'm also in school full time as well, so I'm usually for the homework of some sort. But acting is my big thing right now. So going over scripts, writing scripts. I'm learning how to write scripts lately.
Nice.
My teacher's kind of pushing me.
Okay.
So you got to get out of your comfort zone of just having somebody else do it, and you acting it out, and you have to put your mind to use. So I've been working on that lately. I'm doing auditions. Usually my agent and my manager, they have me bogged down with auditions, honey. Self-tapes. These lights stay up. I'm sure my electric bill is $300-$500 because these lights stay on. I stay in front of this little blue area right here because I'm always working. Then I take time and I'll, possibly eat lunch. Some days go without eating lunch, and just kind of rest my mind, spiritually go over my word. That's something that's big for me, because I realized when I didn't have it, I felt like I was missing something. So that's something that's big for me. I keep my Bible app on my phone, and so I'll do that around lunchtime usually.
Okay.
Reach out to my parents because they're still living, and so just touch bases with them on a daily basis. Then
I gotta get better.
then I realized like life is short.
It is.
Like my mom lost her parents she lost her mother at 11 and lost her father, I think, at 18. My mom's the baby of 13. So she really didn't have her parents as an adult. And so I don't take that for granted. Like I listen to her stories and I know she did everything that she could to be the best mother that she could, even though she didn't have that mother to teach her the ropes. She had to base it off of what she's seen her siblings do. So yeah, reach out to my parents on a daily basis. Then I go pick my son up from football practice usually, or go to a game. And then I'm back here and I'll be up for the remainder of the night if I don't have a photo shoot or if I'm not on set somewhere, because usually that's what it is. In a week, I usually in a week do at least a couple photo shoots a week, or I'm on set filming on the weekends, majority of the weekends. And then I'm getting in bed around, y'all don't want to know.
Right. We at the end of your day now. What is it?
I'm usually not getting in bed until like 2 or 3 because I'm submitting auditions and then I'm finishing of it up on my computer, cutting these videos and these audition tapes and submitting out. That is my life because this is a journey for me, and I'm not gonna stop until I make it to where I know I'm destined to be. Yeah,
sleep later. Right? Sleep later. You have 24 hours. Maximizing your time is what I hear you're saying. You maximize as much time in the day as you can, doing as many things, being as productive as you can in a day. Because like you said, it sounds like you value time. You value time with the people that you love, and you value the time that you put, that you give people too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I love that.
And that's awesome stuff. And also, it's mentoring. So, do you have any mentors? I know a lot of business people, entrepreneurs, always have mentors. So, do you have any mentors right now, or?
I say I have unknown mentors. I say they're my mentors, but they don't know that they're my mentors. But I look up to them. I take their advice. They feed into me, and I use it. She's probably gonna be like, "Girl, I didn't know I was your mentor, one of your mentors." But Ray Adams, she's a friend of mine. I met her maybe almost 2 years ago. She started as my esthetician, but her business mind is like none other. And so I soak up all the information that she pours out to the world via her lives that she does. Or if I hit her up like, hey, I'm thinking about starting a business. She has multiple businesses with her husband. Currently, they are opening one of the first Black-owned beauty supply stores. And she told me where it was at, somewhere in Texas, that where they don't have a beauty supply store. And it's going to be fully Black owned. So I'm super excited for her. And so when she tells me stuff like that, I'm like, man, you doing that? You a mother of, I think she's a mother of 5 or 6. She was a vet, military, her and her husband. And she has her business with being an esthetician. And she mentors a bunch of other, up and coming estheticians. And I'm like, man, like I really appreciate her for who she is and what she gives to the world. So I would definitely say that she's one of my mentors.
As you were speaking, I'm just really hearing you being occupied, and that's a good thing. You being occupied, and just see that you've been occupied. A lot of things are blocked out, which is a good thing. But you staying occupied, you staying focused. You're not entertaining any type of foolishness. You're not being idle-minded. So get that about you, that you're being occupied.
Yeah.
And then the scripture tells us to be occupied until he return. But that's what I get when you were speaking. That's what I got from you. Just being occupied, blocking out negative things, and just staying well-rounded. I don't want to say busy, but you're having an all-around productive life where I don't have time for things that does not benefit me at the end of the day. So
like clubbing. I've never been a clubber. I'm going to be honest with you. For me, I'll go to a networking event before I go to a club.
Do people still club?
Huh?
They still do it?
Well, if you don't have it,
I feel like clubbing probably different than when it used to be when I used to be clubbing. I'm probably
they don't talk about it.
I don't know.
They still go, but it'd be more mediocre. When I say mediocre, is individuals who don't have anything to, no meaning, no purpose, no.
Like what you doing? Like
Just one. It is what it is. Okay, it's that is what it is mentality.
Yeah.
You know what? This is what I think. The last time that I went to a club, which I think was pre-COVID. Okay, but anyway, the last time that I went, you just sit there grandstanding. Ain't nobody like I was not about me, but people were like dudes are with the chicks are with the guy. Everybody's like in the back, you know what I'm saying? They do these lane dances that is weird, like no one's really like there for each other. They're just there to like stunt and then pop a bottle they can't afford, and now it's just
they don't do. They all there for not be free. Not okay. People that's business minded and people that's like about making money and stuff, they go to like lounges, they go to coffee places, wine places.
Of course, yes.
That would upscale business minded people go to. Them kind of places I like to go to.
Live music.
Them kind of places they go to. Live band.
At the club.
They don't. That's for mediocre
that are 35 and up, and mentally I just don't understand. My thing is I'm trying to break generational curses, and you can't do that if you clubbing every weekend. There's no way that you can do that. No way.
Holding the wild clubs. I want to do hold the wild clubs. People that don't have anything. Upscale club. What they don't call them club. Upscale lounges. Is where individuals who business minded go, where they. Coffee shops. Oh, I love coffee shops. I'm telling anybody, to any guys that's out there listening, take a woman to a nice coffee shop. All that I'm gonna tell you, because the atmosphere is right. You can sit and talk. It's just something about that atmosphere. Yeah. Trust me, fellas. Women like
first date. Is that first date? Is okay. So if homegirl went all the way off at Cheesecake Factory on the first date,
she was doing too much. She was doing too much because I have to
go to the coffee shop with you, Furman. Well,
I told her, speak for yourself, girl.
First date with me. I'm telling you this. First
Factory, are you crazy?
First date for me is a coffee shop. We go get some, because in the beginning when you go out on the first date, the whole purpose of going on the first date is getting to know each other.
Yeah.
So then we sitting talking, we're vibing, we're filling each other out to see it is going to be a second date. Yeah. And that's what it's all about.
Sermon.
That is good, right?
Because it's not mandatory to do dinner on the first date.
But you know what? That too, you're letting me know if you're okay with just a cup of coffee.
Yeah, because we're talking, we're vibing. I want to get to know you. You want to get to know me.
Yeah.
We're
Or it's
going
all
to
about the
a
lobster or the asparagus.
I tell everybody, and I say this on the air. Yes, I'm a single guy, but on the first date, we're doing coffee. We're going for tea. We even go to a nice wine spot.
I
Because
like
we
that.
sit talking and vibing. And
That's
then we
good.
turn this, yeah, it's not wrong. But let me tell you about this, ladies. The guy with the cheese, I'm gonna be honest with you. To the guys, a woman's gonna treat you the way you treat yourself. She treated him the way he treated himself. He didn't believe in himself, and that's why she treated him that way. A woman is not gonna come to a guy and say, "You wouldn't know what, I'm gonna play you today." That never happened.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are losers, go to these type of women, they get played, get mistreated, then they want to go on social media. Women are bad, this is that. No, you made that decision. She treated you like you treated yourself, like a loser.
But I don't know. I don't know, because I feel like it's the caliber of woman that she was too.
But
what are you attracting? Because to me, when I don't know if we're talking about the video or the list that lady put up.
Well,
that video that I seen, I was like, it's the caliber of woman she is. She's beautiful. She looked well put together, but mentally, she was not mature.
Let me ask you this. What was so exciting about her? He just, then I'm saying it's the decision that he made. Don't get me wrong, you got some jacked up individuals out in this world, male and female. But it's about when you know your worth and you know your value.
But with that being said, I think he stood up for his worth and for his value. I think that, you know what, she showed her hand. You know, first of all, she being so disrespectful, making this man wait for an hour, not even inviting him up to her goofy house, apartment, whatever. Anyway, so she first of all tried to play him close. You know what I'm saying? But I think that after she really showed herself and put on the camera and acted like a brat, I think that he was well within his rights to drop her back off where he found her, and hopefully that was the end of that. And so it's so interesting, though, isn't it? How what she thought was going to embarrass him really embarrassed her.
Yeah, he finally stood up toward the end. But I would, what it
and
is.
He even said he had a nice place for her to go, but she was an hour late. Which
she was late.
So she was late.
She started off late and then wanted to jump on camera and make it seem like he was the bad guy. He was so respectful to her.
He was so
to
nice.
me, I feel like she did not show herself to be a true lady.
No. Missy, you're absolutely right. And I'm gonna tell you, if that would have been somebody else, no, she would have got
they would have been like, you can get out the car right now and take an Uber.
She would never got in the car in the first place.
Hello?
Okay.
And know your time, know your word, but I won't put with nothing like that. And I'm tell you something with this too, and I'm not bashing nobody, I'm not putting anybody down. I'm talking about with guys. Guys got to stop basing stuff off the physical appearance. It's all about the character. No, it's all about the character of the individual. What they do is, instead of looking at you from the head up, they go from the head down.
No, they don't go from the head down. They go from the neck down. Because let me tell you, I've been looked past, over, through. They look past me because for black men, let me say that. Because a lot of the white men and Hispanic men, they love me for whatever reason. I don't know. Can't figure it out. But black men, because I ain't got no big old booty, or, you know, I don't fit the eye of what a black woman should look like, I get passed over a lot of times. Like now that I'm an adult, I have, you know, more curves. But when I was younger, I had a beautiful face still, beautiful mind, even better mind. But they didn't see that. They didn't even give me a chance to show them who I was. Because
that's the problem.
Off my body.
That was the problem, because they were thinking with their wrong body part. Yeah. And not only that, they have insecurities about themselves. Mm-hmm. They want somebody that they can impress with people. Mm-hmm. It's not about your character. A real man, that one boy. Them wasn't no man. A real man would not. Hey, it's just something about you. I don't know what it is, but I just want to get to know your character. Just something about you. I don't know what it is, how you carry yourself, is your smile, whatever. But I just want to get together. Let's go out for some coffee, have a conversation. I want to get to know that character behind the beauty. Mm-hmm. And they base stuff off the wrong body part. It is. I remember I had a conversation with a lady, and the guy was trying to have sex with her. Mm-hmm. And he was trying to do anything he can to have sex. But he's like, I bought you these drinks, so now you gotta have. It's like, really?
But ladies have set the tone for that though, because they're going on these dates or they're going out with these men, and that's a millennial first date is hooking up.
I don't believe in nobody else. That's another thing too. If you're not feeling nobody, please don't go out with them. Yeah. And that's another thing too. A lot of people take free meals, and that's what a lot of they take.
I'll pay. Look, we can go on a first date, and I'll pay for my own meal. Heck, we can even go Dutch.
But I'm asking this: why did nobody not being honest? And that's what because you got to realize people got a lot of mental issues going on nowadays. Yeah. People can go kill you, and they don't realize that. Like, you got real deal individuals who may fall heads over heels with the individual, but they are not really feeling this person. Why didn't? Or if they tell them that in the beginning, or they're just allowing it to go on until.
Well, you know what? It goes back to the opportunity or opportunist, right? People are opportunistic. If me hooking up with you is going to benefit me in some kind of way, shape, or form, then yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Right. And there's a lot of people out there doing that. And what I really hate, can we bring class back?
Oh my God.
Can we try that? Can we be dressed in a manner that a man will respect us? And we don't have to put our boobs out there and our body parts out there like you're not a human person with a body. Everyone has one, like knock it off. Right? Like, can we just not always, and I think right now is social media with the likes and the follows that people are so hell bent on being as crazy as possible, being outlandish as possible, being as rude and disrespectful and unclassy as possible. Right? And it's really unfortunate because it definitely puts a bad taste in people's mouths about how we're supposed to even handle each other. You know, so her, like, look at this. I want to slap her. I'm sorry. I wanted to slap her. Like, girl, you ain't nothing special. You need to knock that off.
Yeah. It makes it, for me, especially as a Black woman, it makes us look bad as a whole. Like, we not like everybody else. So when one of us do something wrong, a lot of times they categorize most of us like that's how Black women are. Like, no, we not. Don't associate me with her ignorance. I don't want any parts of that.
Losers.
Right. You know, loser mentality.
That's what it is. It's like when I posted this on my page and I said this is a loser mindset. And I guess since it was a female post about the list about what places not to go. And then guys did the same. Some guys did the same thing. We were stupid. It is real stupid. It said these are the type of women that men, we ain't talking about men and males, should not take on the date. Single mothers, that they had number one on their list. Women with a lot of tattoos. Women who dress provocative. 5-time workers of girls, pawn stars, strippers, Instagram model, bottle girls, escorts. Women with large social media following.
That's everybody. Heck, I already been knocked off the list from the first point.
Women with purple hair. Women promiscuous friends. Women who travel alone regularly. What's wrong with traveling alone? Hey, that's a good thing. It's just goofy stuff that folks do is stupid. Women that drink a lot. Women without fathers. Wow. Okay, what happened? Her father died.
That's a lot of people though. That's I think people are just being petty. I don't like the whole male versus female thing. It bothers me too.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, and I had posters on my page too, and I love reading the Bible, and I love this. Go back. This been going on for years, and it's been going on since the beginning. It's been going on, but I'm gonna read this scripture right quick, and it comes out of the book of Exodus, and this is something that has been going on, and it's going on to this day. Oh man, my phone. Let's see. I'm trying to pull it up. But go ahead and we'll finish the conversation. I'll pull it up. But it is sad what's going on. A house divided cannot stand. And so God was saying something about why all these gender wars going on. There you go. All right. Exodus 1:16 says this. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women and seat them upon the stool, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. There were Pharaoh or the midwives that if they had a son, kill it. If it be a daughter, live. That's going on right now. Even though there may be a physical, but it's a spiritual thing going on. That's why we have this whole men versus women going on. Yeah. That's why all this stuff is going on. And that's in Exodus 1:16.
Yeah. You know what? And I don't want to, and I know the show's about to be over, so we cannot go into this. But that's also, oh God, help me in this. Should I even say this right now? I'm going to say it because it's provocative. But that's also why this whole gender collide thing is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Why women are not looked at as women now, and
Speak. Don't hesitate.
you
That's a
know,
whole nother show that you really shouldn't
you
touch
know,
on.
it's like when you start coming into this gender, you know,
Yeah.
it's a power struggle right now, for real, for real. You're right. You're right,
is.
Furman. You're right, Furman. I'll just put
But
it
that
out
made
there.
me think about that incident and when Pharaoh ordered if they had a son killed, let the daughter live, and that's going on today.
Right now. Yep.
Even though they was trying to kill the sons physically, this is a spiritual thing going on now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen my post that I had posted up. I don't know.
About the man being like vulnerability.
No. I posted up. It was because I try to attend church every Sunday, either in person or virtually. But my pastor was talking about. I think it was Timothy. I'm looking for the scripture right now.
Just always be old time. It's just old time stuff.
But when I tell you we are living in that moment right now, oh, that's what it is. 2 Timothy 3:1-5.
Mm-hmm.
We are living that now, and it's scary. Like I had to tell my son, I'm like, baby, we living in this right now. Like when you start thinking about it and you read it, like I think it was in the New Living Translation that he spoke on it, and I was just like, wow, you hear this stuff like we living in our last days all the time. But until you associate a scripture with it, it don't really click. But when you realize all the stuff that's going on currently that you can associate in the Bible with today's life, that's scary.
Yeah, it really is. And it transpired today. And we look at it, and I know you being a single mother, and I know, and just be real, you gotta be careful out here. Because you got pedophiles out there. Just keep it real. You got pedophiles out here in this world. So it's like you got to be careful. I don't want to bring any type of man around my son because I'm thinking he may have eyes for me, but he had eyes for me. This stuff happens.
Yeah, more than we would like to believe.
Yeah.
So I heard somebody say it's like, dang, nobody can't date him, but you could date. But you just have to know what you're getting yourself into. I know.
Furman, it goes back to those questions we talked about, right? Instead of jumping into bed, let's jump in these conversations.
Yep.
Let's just jump in these questions.
What we're talking about? Exactly. Just the elephant in the room. You got to think about it too. Okay, back in the day when the guy used to go pick a girl up from the house, it was safe. Everybody going one car. Now it's like I don't even know what you live. Because first of all, we don't even know each other like that. So you don't even know how I live. I don't even know what you live. We go in separate cars. Yeah. We'll meet at this designated place. So if anything happens, you go your way and I go my way. Yeah. Because it's dangerous out here now. Not saying being scared. Yeah. Because nowadays people want, hey, let me come to your house. For what? I don't know you like that.
No.
And some people
you'll go eat that lobster, you'll go eat that Cheesecake Factory.
Hello.
But I'm just saying, like, if you try to get, like, you don't even know this person. Why you trying to get the more? Man, I'm trying to get her over my house. You don't even know her from Adam, and you trying to get
right? Because it's not always the men that's crazy.
Hey. You know what I've learned too now? Oh my God, no, this is what I've learned. Mind you, I'm not on the dating scene, but I'm just hearing stuff. They say that now women are the ones that want it. They want the sex more than the dudes want the sex.
A lot of times. That's why I said they're the ones that's creating this narrative a lot of times for why men think that it's okay to want to have sex on a first date, because a lot of younger women are making that a thing.
You think they come from
chilling is popular.
But you think they come from having low self-esteem?
Netflix and chill, right? That's trendy. Let's give myself of you to. It's not even sacred. Oh my God, we're not even sacred anymore.
But don't you think they come from probably like low self-esteem?
It does. I dealt with it. I came from an abusive marriage. And so I dealt with it. It took me a long time to get out of that, but I used to think like that about myself, and I used to be very over-sexualized.
I'm glad you brought that up. I know, Sean, you went through some stuff in your childhood, and I know you're married, and how did you share that with your husband at that time that you went through? Because I remember somebody brought up a interesting point where he was dating this woman, and he didn't realize she was sexually assaulted years back until they came into intimate encounter, and then she kind of overreacted, and then she finally broke down and said, "Hey, when we was in that position, I had a bad moment." So, and because at the time when we had those moments, people may think it's them that I do something wrong, but it's something they had. Yeah. So how did he cope with it? How do you explain that to him so he get a clear understanding that, hey, it's not you? They've had it. So how did y'all break that down?
I need to hear. I need to hear this too, because
this stuff is important.
I deal with it too. I was molested as a child, and I don't know how to, like, going. I tell people, but like, how do you, like he said, how do you? That's a tough conversation to have with somebody, because they don't understand what your triggers are. Heck, a lot of times we don't understand what our triggers are.
Yeah. No, great question, right? And I think the one thing that has allowed me in my healing journey with my husband is that it also depends on the person. Now, I've been in plenty of relationships, bless you, that I have not felt open enough to share the depth of my abuse, right? The depths of why I do what I do. But before I got with my husband, there was some healing that was taking place, right? Where I could actually now stand in my truth. Okay. I could actually speak about what happened to me, not as if it was my fault, not as if it was something I had to be ashamed of, not as if, you know what I'm saying, I'm still a victim, right? So when I started actually being empowered by what happened to me, and I could speak to him and talk to him about this without it being like the child that was abused, you know what I mean? Because I've done some healing, then it was a lot easier for me to speak to him. But also, he's just that guy to not throw those things in my face, to not make me feel inadequate, to not make me feel, like I'm damaged goods, to not make me feel like, what I'm saying, that I should be thrown away with the bathwater, right? He made it a safe place for me, because like you're right, Missy, those triggers come. They still come. I'm 48 years old and they still come, right? You just never know what's going to take you back to those things. And so just having that partner that you can confide in fully is so, so, so important, because not everybody's going to be able to take that. Because guess what? Other people have been abused and they cannot verbalize that yet. So you never know if you verbalizing yours is going to really mess with them, right? But I knew that about my husband. He hadn't suffered from that, right? So it wasn't going to be a trigger for him. He could actually stand up and be strong for me like he needed me to be. And so it's been a progress. It's been a process over 10 years of letting more out. It's a little more. Yeah. Just a little more, and being patient. We don't want to vomit it all on them because they can't deal with that, right? So you start building that trust. And he just really made it to where I can actually confide in him, because God knows who I needed in my life at that time for the rest, the next part of that journey of healing. You know what I mean? And so he's going to bring them to you, Miss C. Soon as, you get to a place of healing, he's going to bring you that person that's going to love you for who you are, for where you are, not condemn you, not shame you, edify you, just be so gracious and so thankful for who you are, that he's going to love you, and you're going to be able to heal and grow in that. So it's coming. It definitely will come.
Well, I will say that when I didn't realize that I had been molested as a child until I was pregnant with my son. People don't believe in like visions and stuff like that, but I kept having dreams and visions, and I started asking questions, and it kind of came out amongst my family that I had been. And my ex-husband, my son's father, the one who was abusive, he acted like he was, very supportive in that moment. And so we started to fall out and go through our divorce, and he used it against me.
Wow.
Especially with having my child, like, I don't want my child to be around, your family, because I don't know if somebody in your family is the one who did it, like stuff like that, to where I had to bury it again.
I'm so sorry for that.
And so like the gentleman that I speak with now, like, he's so reassuring. Like I feel like he almost is a godsend. Haven't known him long and haven't divulged my entire story to him, but the spirit of discernment I have when it comes to him is like, you're safe.
And you know what, Miss C, and this is what I want. I want you to be grateful in that. Be thankful in that. God sends us who we need right when we need it along our journey, right? And if you, again, you can feel safety in that, and you can feel comfort in that, and he's kind to you and patient with you, don't discount that. Because a lot of times what we'll do is like, oh, it's too good to be true. We done sabotaged it. Now
Oh, yeah.
we done put those the ex's characteristics on him, and he ain't got nothing to do with that. Now he defended himself. Now y'all just like this. Now it's nothing. Now it's just sucks.
Right.
But if we could just appreciate, say, God, thank you for this person in my life. Thank you for what we're able to grow in this and heal in this. Be thankful for whoever this person is, because it takes a very special person to care for people who's gone through stuff like we've gone through, because it's such deep hurt that comes with it. And you don't heal all at once. You deliver, you can get delivered, but it comes at a cost for sure.
Yeah. And I've been through therapy. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that we all have. Like, I continue to seek out therapy because I don't think I'll ever be normal, or what they consider normal, or okay with what I went through. I think eventually I'll get to a point to where I can talk about it openly and express the story to the world so that it can possibly help somebody else. But that's going to take growth. My son's 14. I found out that I was molested pregnant with him. You know what I'm saying? So
this is part of your healing. Look at you.
Yeah.
This is part of it. I'm so proud of you, girl.
Oh, thank you. Don't make me cry.
I'm so proud of you. This is part of it. God is good. God is good. And you know what? This is what I told. Listen, and then we can move on, of course, from it. So with my abuser, this is so important. Years ago, I told my abuser, who was my stepfather for many years, I told him, because my superpower is forgiveness. I learned a long time ago that if God's going to forgive me, I have to forgive others that trespass against me, even those people that hurt me the most. I'm like, wait, God, I have to forgive him for doing that. Yes, you do. I have to forgive her for doing that. Yes, you do. Right? We can't pick and choose who we forgive. Oh my God, because that's what we will do, right? We'll pick and choose. So I told my abuser one day, years ago, I looked at him in his face. I said, I forgive you, but I'll tell the world about what you did to me. Right? And I meant it. And I wrote it in a book, and I speak on these forums just so people can know they don't have to stay stuck for something that that was not their fault. And last week, I get a call, guys, from the prosecutor that wants me to tell my story from 31 years ago, because he's now back in jail for doing it again to another child.
Wow.
So I'm going along my day, Miss C, minding my business. I get a phone call about something that happened so long ago. Trigger, right? But what I'm able to do is stand up, because you know what? Now I'm on a quest so it can finally stop. It should have stopped with me. But 31 years later, still doing it to more kids.
Wow.
Right? But if I wasn't as healed as I could, that would have took me out.
Yeah, that's a sickness right there. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a deep sickness. Like I said, I know we better get you off there, and we had a good time here on the show. But I'm gonna lead this out too with Miss C. So how can the listeners support you, your work, and how can they follow you?
Like, comment, subscribe, share on all my social media platforms. I'm really easy to find. ms.thosha_C on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, I believe, and on YouTube, but haven't really been active on YouTube. I'm gonna get back there though.
Awesome stuff. I said, man, we about to really leave here.
Yeah.
Man, y'all enjoy y'all Wednesday evening, of course. Also, man, remember to give a big shout out to CDD. We say this all the time. Remember the graveyard. Everybody had one thing in common. They thought they were going to see tomorrow, and they didn't. Remember, let's live life like it's our last. So remember this. Love yourself, respect yourself, honor yourself. Tell yourself we're going to win. Tell yourself we're going to succeed. Tell yourself we're going to overcome. Tell yourself we're going to beat the odds. Tell yourself I'm worthy. Tell yourself I'm smart. To the fellas, tell yourself I'm handsome. To the ladies, tell yourself you're beautiful. And more important, tell yourself I'm a genius. Tell yourself that I'm a millionaire. Tell yourself I'm a billionaire. And most importantly, that God has me at the end. Remember, Matthew 6:33 said that seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, all these things gonna be added unto you.
Yeah.
So remember, man, y'all finish this year out. We're already with October the 25th, 2023.
Yeah.
This year almost out, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, we get excited at December 31st, January 1st. We say, this is my year, this is my season. Then we go right back to that mediocre mindset. So that means we have to break that pattern and break the algorithm. So, man, y'all enjoy yourself. I will be back here Saturday morning, 10 a.m. on the early morning Saturday show. So, man, y'all have a great Wednesday. And we'll be back here Saturday morning here on Walking This Ways Impact Word Podcast. Bye, everybody.